Guys, this is a testimony of what happened with me today. I'm out. You guys know what I do. I'm not going to keep repeating that. I'm out doing my job, and I have to stop and get fuel. Well, there's certain parts of town that you pay a lot more for the fuel than you do in other parts of town. So I wait until I go through those parts of town where it's cheaper, and I buy my fuel there. They're not the good parts of town. Let's just put it like that. I'm standing there. I've already paid for my fuel. I'm pumping it in. This gentleman to me, which looked like he was somewhere between about 75 and 80 years old, comes slowly walking up to my car while I'm pumping the gas. This guy, once he sees I notice him, now I'm in a bad part of town. Once this guy sees that I notice him, he holds up his hand. He's going, "Sir, I'm not going to ask you for, I'm not asking for no money. I'm not asking for no money." I said, that's fine. He goes, "Look, I was standing over here waiting on the bus, and for some reason that bus did not come from that light and come down here and pick me up. It turned and went left at that light. I don't know if that was the bus I was supposed to catch, or because I was in the wrong place, or if that was a different bus and I missed the earlier bus." He goes, "The only thing I'm asking is at this point, if you can take me down here about 3 or 4 blocks, and so that I can wait at another bus stop, because I'm going downtown to the hospital." And he mentioned he was going downtown to the hospital. So I'm pumping the gas, and this guy, his pants are dirty, his clothes are dirty. I pretty much even asked him later on, do you have somewhere to live? But he kind of looked like that. I don't know if you guys have ever seen like old pictures of Indians and stuff where their faces are real wrinkled, all wrinkled up and tough looking because they've been out in the sun or for many, many years, especially when you get out west there. And it's 118 most of the damn time. Well, this guy had this look to him. And like I said, I figured him to be somewhere between 75 and 80 years old. He's asking me for a favor. I told him, hell yeah, I'll take it. So if you give me a minute here, pump this gas, I'll take you down there. So I pumped the gas, and I opened up the doors. He jumped in, I jumped in, and he told me he was headed down to a hospital that's on Belmont, downtown Youngstown. And but he said, he goes, all I want you to do is just take me a few blocks to catch another bus. And I agreed to do it, and I knew where he was going, and the direction he was sending me was towards the hospital, and so I just started driving. He never did tell me to stop anywhere, so I decided in my mind, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and take him to the hospital. He said he was headed to the hospital. I'm just going to take him to the hospital. Now, it would have been about a 16-mile run out of my way, 8 miles one way. But it didn't matter. I just put gas in the car and I just said, hell with it. This guy needs help. He's going to the hospital. So I was asking him, I said, hey, man, why are you going to the hospital? He said he's got a hip problem he's got to deal with. But he had and in his hand, and I want to show you because I carry one of these because of my health problems. He had one of these in his hand, like this. Not in his pocket. And you know what? People use a lot of things, a lot of different ways to get money and stuff out of people, whether it's a cast on a foot or an arm, or they might put some dirty clothing on and talk people out of money. I don't worry about that. You know what? If you're doing all that, then so be it. But if I'm going to help you, I'm going to help you whether you're lying to me or whether you're not. And I'm not saying anybody was lying to me, folks. I'm not going there. But I know I've helped people that I found out later they were lying to me. So, but anyway, I'm just going to take him to the hospital. Like I said, it's about 8 miles down north of where I was at. And finally, I mean, we're talking, and he's telling me that he something about Arizona, and I'm looking over at him, and I'm going, man, I spent half my life in Arizona. Or what he asked me is, he goes, man, you ever been to New Mexico? And I said, yeah, because he was acting like he recognized me or something, And he said something about he was out in Arizona and something, and I was like, I raised my kids in Arizona. And we got to talking more, and I asked him about why he was going to the hospital. Like I said, he told me he had some kind of hip problem. But he kept the conversation going with me, and he finally goes, oh, you went too far. I mean, we were like 4 miles too far. And I go, no, I already decided, man. I'm going to go ahead and take you. I know the hospital you're going to. I'm going to take you down there. Now, I don't know if the guy was lying to me or not. I hope he wasn't. I was trying to help him out. But he goes, oh, no, I don't want you to waste your time doing that. And I said, I'm not wasting my time. And I looked at him, and I looked over at him. We were sitting at a light. I looked him dead in the eye, and I said, man, what if you was Jesus and you're asking me to do something? I said, I'm a God-fearing man. I said, I'm not going to turn you down. Wherever you want to go, I'm going to take you, just to make sure. And he was like, oh, no, you don't need to waste your time. And he's going, man, you don't need all that. And he goes, all you need to do is just be a good person. And I listened to him for a little bit. And I said, that's all fine and dandy. And if that works for you, man, I don't know what to think. But I said, let me tell you something. I've been dead twice and brought back. One time they told my family was planning I'm talking my entire family was planning a funeral. And I'm still here. I said, and if you think this happens just because I was a good person, I wasn't. And I tried to tell this guy, but, some people at their age and everything, it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks, they say, that's a saying for a reason. But I told him, I said, you know what, man, you got a few years on me, I guarantee that. I said, but I'm 60, and I'm telling you, I've been through quite a bit. I've lived all across this. He goes, what? What'd you say? I said, about what? And I go, I know you got a few years on. He goes, no. He goes, how old did you say you was? He goes, 60. I go, I'm 60. Or, well, I said, I'm getting ready to turn 59, but I'm damn near 60. He goes, man, I'm 61. I'm sitting here with a guy in my car that I don't even have a clue at what his life could have been to take a body that he claimed he was 61. Let's say he was fibbing about a year or two. Let's say he was 58 to 63 or something like that. Because I fibbed a little bit. I am getting ready to turn 59, but I just claimed 60. And I told him that. I told him, no, I'm 59, but people, I drank alcohol hard from about the age of 11. Me and my brother was stealing it from the local convenience store. Quarts in a newspaper bag that I delivered newspapers in. I had a bag that was in the front and a bag in the back. And I'd ride around throwing these, well, when we went over to steal liquor at the Village Pantry in Greenwood, Indiana, my brother would wear the bag, my paper bag on him, and I'd walk in, they had the slushy machine right behind the cash register. Right behind the cash register. So, whoever's running the cash register had to turn around, face the wall, to fill a slushie. Now, while I ordered the extra large, super 55-gallon drum slushie, and the people who were working the cash register had to turn around and fill that 55-gallon drum of slushie, my brother's behind me. Oh, he's got that bag open. He's walking through the beer aisle, throwing. I can hear the clanking of the bottles going into the front bag. When he got that full, he would flip the thing around, the empty bag come around, and he'd start filling that up. Now, I'd be watching him out of the side of my eyes. If he didn't have enough time to fill it up, and she turned around, I had nothing but change to pay for that slushie. And if she was turning around too soon, he would tell me, he would shake his head no. And I'd shove all that change right off onto the floor behind the counter. When she bent over to pick it up, he finished filling the bag, left. I was 11. My brother was 4 years younger than me. And my family blames every bit of my brother's drug problems, drinking problems, everything on me. My dad's the one that taught me how to drink. That's the whole thing. Everything I was doing, my dad taught me. And I was teaching a brother that was 4 years younger than me that ended up doing 10 years in prison for drugs. I never did. But he was 4 years younger than me, and it probably I had a major part of why he was involved in it. But if my parents would have done the right thing, I wouldn't have been involved in it. But yeah, my family, they still to this day, the ones that are left, not my mom and dad, but when they were alive, they still held me responsible for that. They held me responsible because my brother did 10 years in prison. They held me responsible for a lot of things. But I was the product of what they did. And they, while they were alive, they never admitted it. So that's just something I deal with. So, you know what? You guys, just another one of Watachi stories. I love you, and so does God. So does God. Loves you the most, but I love you as well. You guys have a good night. This is my last one for today. I think it's 4 or 5 or 6 or something. I don't know. I'm going to spread them out a little bit, I think. Maybe or not. I don't know that either. You guys have a good night.